talent. Fallon has no talent. Kimmel has no talent. They're next. They're going to be going. I hear they're going to be going. I don't know, but I would imagine because they get, Colbert has better ratings than Kimmel or Fallon. You know that. Howard Stern, it's a name I haven't heard. I used to do a show. We used to have fun, but I haven't heard that name in a long time. What happened?
You almost have to feel sorry for him. He did his best to cancel me. Instead, he forced millions of people to watch the show. That backfired bigly. He might have to release the Epstein files to distract us from this now.
Yeah, a lot of people are worried that we won't keep saying what we want to say or that we'll be censored. But I'm going to cover the president's trip to the UK just like I normally would.
When Donald Trump tried to silence both Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel, late-night TV didn't just tremble, it detonated. But the Jimmys didn't retreat. They fired back. What they revealed was so raw, so uncomfortable, it could have made Congress drop the act and the microphones. Behind the jokes was a calculated counterattack. Behind the laughter, pure defiance tonight. We're pulling back the curtain on the backlash, the off-camera drama, and the exact moment to comedians flipped political pressure into primetime revenge. Strap in because this story goes from absurd to unbelievable. In seconds,
You're prepared to host tonight. If you look at the great hosts, Johnny Carson, Bob Hope, those are the greats. If you look at the not-so-greats, like Jimmy Kimmel, he was just terrible. I've watched some of the people that host. Jimmy Kimmel was horrible.
you're enjoying this? Hit subscribe. It helps more than you realize. Now imagine waking up to learn that a certain orange-tinted headline magnet tried to erase your show from the map. For Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel, it was the kind of plot twist that feels like reality. Chugged an energy drink at midnight and forgot to sleep.
Well, guys, President Trump just wrapped up his 3-day trip to the UK, and he
looked incredibly handsome.
As always, his tie was
Exactly the right length.
and his face looked
Like a color that exists in nature.
One moment, late night was cruising on monologues and musical bits. The next, Trump seemed to decide that comedy itself needed to be shut down immediately. It felt less like a calculated strategy and more like someone slamming a giant red panic button marked, "Stop the jokes now."
Last night, they handed out the Kennedy Center Honors in Washington, hosted by Donald Trump. Donald Trump was the host of the show. He's been boasting about hosting, saying, "We've never had a president host the Kennedy Center Honors before," which, yeah, why do you think that is? We've also never had Neil Patrick Harris order a military strike on a fishing boat before. Trump was obviously very excited to headline this once prestigious event. He even waddled the red carpet where he was all fired.
Of course, the Jimmys didn't crumble. They didn't even wobble. They just stared at the situation with the kind of amused disbelief usually reserved for watching someone pick a fight with a revolving door. Fallon flashed that trademark half-shocked, half-delighted grin, the look you get when the universe hands you comedy gold. Gift trapped in chaos.
continues to dominate the news, and Trump just suggested that Democrats could have planted his name in the Epstein files. Nancy Pelosi and Bernie Sanders were like, "Trust us, if we knew how to work a computer, we would have." Yep, Trump went from saying there are no files to "I'm not in the files" to "I'm only in there because the files were changed."
Meanwhile, Kimmel absorbed the news with the dry calm of a man who's watched Trump attempt enough dramatic gestures to fill a 12th episode miniseries. The cancellation threat drifted into his world like a balloon stuffed with pure absurdity, unexpected, wildly over, and guaranteed to cause brief eye strain. Kimmel didn't need to raise his voice or crack his composure. His expression alone did the work, carrying enough comedic gravity to make his opinion unmistakably clear. It wasn't a strategic strike so much as an emotional thunderclap, the kind that erupts when someone feels theatrically offended and decides the entire world should rearrange itself in response. Less planning, more flailing, fewer chess moves, more flipping the board across the room because the pieces were suddenly too shiny.
Late last night, the Angry Orange posted, "Why does ABC Fake News keep Jimmy Kimmel, a man with no talent and very poor television ratings, on the air? Why do the TV syndicates put up with it? Also, totally biased coverage. Get the bum off the air." I'm the bum. I'm the bum. And he posted this, I think this is interesting, at 12:49 a.m., 11 minutes after the show ended on the East Coast, which is nice. He watches us live.
The mayhem really kicked in when Fallon tackled the situation with playful disbelief, turning Trump's dramatic move into a whimsical mix-up as if canceling a late-night show were no different from canceling a dinner reservation. The energy of his delivery made it feel like Trump had rolled out of bed, grabbed his phone, and tried to reorganize the entertainment industry before finishing his first cup of coffee. Fallon transformed the theatrics into pure spectacle, squeezing comedy out of every exaggerated turn. Kimmel, meanwhile, leaned hard into sardonic precision, shaping the cancellation attempt into a carefully layered roast. He framed it like a cautionary tale. What happens when personal irritation gets mistaken for universal law? One Jimmy brought the fizzy astonishment, the other delivered the dry sting, and Trump, unintentionally, supplied the entire plot together. They didn't treat it as a political maneuver, but as yet another episode in the endless performance that seems to trail Trump wherever he goes. He wasn't cast as a hero or a villain, just an unstoppable generator of over-the-top drama, perfectly engineered for late-night dissection.
Last night, President Trump became the first president to host the Kennedy Center Honors himself. Yeah, it was like the Golden Globes if the host was also a Golden Globe. Orange is gold. You could tell it was Trump's award show because the red carpet was just one of his neckties.
Their revelations made one thing unmistakably clear. Trump's cancellation attempt wasn't some carefully engineered strategy. It lurched forward like a parade float, drifting off course after the driver got distracted by his own reflection. He aimed to silence them and instead handed them a premium excuse to slam the comedy pedal straight to the floor. Then came the glorious fallout. Fans howled, critics sighed, and the internet did what it always does. It turned Trump's outburst into a full-blown digital carnival. Memes multiplied, GIFs looped endlessly, dramatic reenactments popped up everywhere, and comment sections exploded with the joy of people who'd just been handed an unlimited entertainment buffet.
Thank you for being here, Mr. President. Tell me, what exactly happened between you and Elon?
We broke up a little bit.
Breakups are hard, things happen fast. I mean, what were you saying about Elon just last Wednesday?
It was totally brilliant.
Yeah, and how about Thursday?
He's dumb as a rock.
It must be tough. Have you ever been this disappointed by anyone so close to you?
Don Jr.?
How many of Elon's kids have you met?
Through it all, Kimmel made sure Trump stayed the unintentional headliner of a comedy festival he never meant to launch. Fallon, meanwhile, embraced the moment like a man handed a golden joke dipped in rhinestones. He described Trump's attempt as if it were a child, demanding the moon be switched off because it was too bright. That framing turned the theatrics into a cosmic tantrum, one the universe calmly ignored. Fallon's delivery sparkled with his signature, childlike glee, wrapping Trump's dramatic bid to pull the plug on comedy in a warm, glowing punchline.
On YouTube, we appreciate that, and I'll tell you, it's viewers like you who keep us on the air, ironically. It's also sweet that even in the middle of the biggest sex scandal in the history of the American presidency, he takes precious time on the toilet to post about our show. Keep saying we have bad ratings, and you should listen to him, because if anyone knows about bad ratings, it's that guy.
He just wouldn't let the dust settle. Fallon kept firing off dry jabs with the precision of a sculptor chiseling a monument to pure absurdity. Every explanation painted Trump as a man charging forward with no map, no plan, and far too much enthusiasm. What began as an attempted shutdown became high-grade satire, the kind that leaves audiences breathless from laughing too hard. Both Jimmys circled the same undeniable truth. Trump didn't just fail to cancel their shows, he supercharged them. He handed over material so rich, so relentlessly ridiculous, it practically wrote itself. He set out to silence comedy and instead kicked off a golden age of jokes made entirely at his own expense. Late night didn't flinch. It expanded. Every angle of Trump's outrage was reshaped into punchlines bright enough to light up the skyline. Against that level of humor, Trump never stood a chance. Comedy feeds on chaos, and Trump is a walking chaos generator. His cancellation attempt became the perfect setup, and the Jimmys didn't waste a single second delivering the punchline. Nat,
You first started running.
You were very high voiced. Your voice was very high. Hey, China. You say China. And yeah, a lot of point, very high, and then you talk. And then you got into a stage where you were just yelling. You were yelling into the microphone at people, and you're yelling at everyone. And like you don't even need the mic. And now you're more of like a smoky, silky.
episodes turned into celebrations, full-blown festivals of triumphant mischief, powered entirely by Trump's attempt to drop the curtain on their shows. Instead of shrinking, Kimmel expanded. Instead of quieting down, both Jimmys grew louder, sharper, and funnier. They transformed the cancellation attempt into a comedic monument, a shining reminder that Trump's theatrics have an uncanny habit of igniting laughter. Whether he plans it or not, by the time the dust finally settled, Fallon and Kimmel had carved out one of their most iconic late-night moments. What was meant to end their shows became the centerpiece of a story far bigger and far funnier than Trump ever imagined. Humor won, comedy soared. And Trump, entirely by accident, handed them one of the most entertaining sagas late night could ask for. If anything, the moment grew legs, grabbed a confetti cannon, and marched straight into the center ring of late-night entertainment. Trump wanted silence. Instead, he created the loudest, funniest, most impossible-to-ignore spectacle the Jimmys had seen in years. It was the classic Trump effect. Attempt control, summon chaos. Accidentally sponsor comedy.
A new low, even among Republicans.
That's the lowest level of his second term.
That is the lowest it's been in his second term.
It is at a low of the second term.
The lowest of his second term.
La aprobación del presidente Donald Trump se desploma a los niveles más bajos.
Más lagos. What does that mean, Guillermo?
His rating is very low.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, bajo, low. Yes.
I have honestly lost count now of how many times the president has demanded I be pulled off the air. I mean, talk about a snowflake, this guy. Every 5 weeks, he flips out and wants me fired.
Fallon, meanwhile, embraced the extended drama like a man handed a lifetime supply of punchlines. Trump's attempts had become an endless fountain of material, bubbling up jokes faster than Fallon could tap dance across his own stage. His laughter carried the kind of energy reserved for moments so absurd that trying to make sense of them would break the laws of seriousness to Fallon. Trump wasn't merely trying to cancel shows. He was auditioning for a new role as the world's most unpredictable comedy consultant. He described Trump's antics with the casual precision of someone watching a parade float shaped like a storm cloud drift through town on a mission to start chaos. Kimmel didn't need to exaggerate. Trump had already done the heavy lifting. Fallon framed Trump's behavior as cosmic performance art. Every public reaction became a theatrical monologue, spotlight blazing, audience confused, yet undeniably entertained. In Fallon's comedic lens, Trump wasn't attacking late night. He was contributing to it. Unwittingly, with reckless enthusiasm, Fallon toyed with Trump's unpredictability like a magician with smoke, letting it swirl, letting it confuse, letting it enchant in all the wrong, perfect ways.
Last night, in a major reversal, President Trump called on House Republicans to release the Epstein files, saying, "We have nothing to hide." In other words, he just finished hiding everything. Look.
By this point, Kimmel had layered the saga with irony, so rich it could be sliced into perfect comedic wedges. Trump's escalating dramatics had become, in Kimmel's eyes, the universe's most reliable content generator. Every attempt to redirect the narrative only opened new angles for the Jimmys to explore, mock, and transform into entertainment gold. Kimmel treated Trump like a recurring character who refuses to exit stage left. No matter how many times the director waves at the door, the Jimmys exposed the truth. Trump's move wasn't about policy or strategy, it was pure theatrics. That Trump attempt, as fans jokingly called it, became its own legend. A moment when someone tried to take down two shows and instead ignited a comedy. Superstorm. Social media amplified it endlessly. Memes, commentary, animated clips, fan-made edits, turning every dramatic gesture into art. Every move Trump made only deepened the comedic well, and the Jimmys drew from it with delight, creating a non-stop cascade of laughs fueled entirely by his own chaos.
You think he even knows I've never hosted the Kennedy Center Honors? Maybe he's confusing me with Queen Latifah? I don't. And as far as this who has more talent thing goes, it seems like he's challenging me to a contest, which, if so, I'm open to it. Let's do it. Let's have a talent competition. I'll come out, I'll tell a few jokes, I'll draw something, I'll play my clarinet, he can play golf, spank a porn star, and ruin a country. I'm kidding, of course. The truth is, Donald Trump is a talented...
For the final jab, Fallon began weaving Trump references into musical numbers, sketches, and visual gags, turning the attempted cancellation into a misguided quest fueled by ego and caffeine. Every bit suggested Trump approached the situation like a man convinced he could shut down a television network by pressing harder on his phone screen. Fallon played it light, silly, and gleefully chaotic. The longer it went on, the clearer it became. Trump had inadvertently created a comedic ecosystem. The Jimmys thrived, audiences roared, and late-night television rediscovered its sharp, joyful bite. What was meant to weaken them became the comedic equivalent of watering a dormant plant, sparking unexpected growth. Fresh energy and a level of entertainment that refused to fade.
Red carpet pre-show. The press is like, Mr. President, what compression socks are you wearing?
Copper fit? I don't know.
Trump said he rejected honorees who were too woke. Then he slept through all the acceptance speeches. He was just, wake up, wake up. Yep, Trump decided to...
The attempted cancellation had grown into a saga. The saga became a phenomenon. The phenomenon became a cultural landmark. Fallon and Kimmel didn't just survive, they soared. Trump didn't just fail to silence them. He handed them a story so bold, so drenched in drama that comedy had no choice but to rise. And as the momentum carried forward, the Jimmys stayed ready, prepared for every unpredictable twist Trump might unleash next. Every spark of drama, every public outburst, primed and waiting to be transformed into the next unforgettable chapter.